Today, we're going to be asking the important questions. The questions that I think not only do we all want the answers to, but actually we're probably owed the answers to these questions. So let's get into it. Guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. It would really help me out a lot. I think that we're all going to get some enjoyment out of this one. And what are these questions that we're talking about today? Today, the questions we want to know have to do with Australia. And to start off, let's crack this Foster's beer right here because I think we're going to need it. God, it's such a ridiculously big can. It's so unnecessary how large this can. I can't fit my hand all the way around it. Kind of reminds me of something else, though. Just kidding. Well, not, but anyway. Let's continue here with our Fosters. Let's hold on. I think this might be the first time I've ever had well, at least in 10 years, probably. It's not bad. It's drinkable. I don't know. Let me have another sip. Okay. Excuse me. I can get into that for sure. We're definitely going to get into it as we move through the video here. So, what are some of the things that I want to know about Australia? I think for sure, this is probably my first question and arguably the most important one here. For sure, the first thing I want to know, and I almost already know the answer to this, I know nobody that's actually from Australia has ever said the phrase down under. They've never said it. I know it. I know it for a fact. If you're actually from Australia, you've never told somebody, if you're actually from Australia, you've never told somebody, oh yeah, I'm, from down under. That's never happened. I mean, unless you're in the tourism business, but that's for sure never happened. Nobody's ever said down under. Am I right? Just, let me know if I'm right or not. The next thing, so yeah, that's question number one is, do people actually say down under? I don't think they do. That's my hypothesis so far. So answer me that one. Riddle me that. My next question is, when other people, specifically Americans, when we ask or when we do an Australian accent, is it offensive? Does it make you guys upset when we try and do it? Because honestly, I think that mine really isn't that bad. Because the real thing you have to remember about doing an Australian accent is that you just have to remember that on certain words you say, you have to how can I say this? You have to make sure that you're saying it right. Right. Yeah. See, and even that right there, the right, it got messed up because when you say things like water, you have to really make sure that you get that A and the slight T and then almost like another A, not an ER at the end. That sound water. That is how you properly do one, I think, as an American. And, I know it's probably not offensive because, look at all the actors that do other accents, whether it's, Leo doing a South African accent in Blood Diamond or Tom Hardy, being Forrest Bondurant and Lawless, where he almost talked like every time he talked, he had a big old thing of chewing tobacco in his mouth. And he's not American. I'm pretty sure he's British. Tom Hardy. Yeah? So, what do you guys think of Americans doing Australian accents? Now, most Americans are lazy, right? They don't know how to do it right, so they just say, "Oh, should we put another shrimp on the barbie, huh?" And they say shit like that, and it's terrible. Good accents all lie in the subtleties, right? Like we were saying, water or, back when I was 18, 19 years old, when learning how to do certain things that, maybe you shouldn't be doing. And it's all in the subtleties of it, I think. So what do you think of our accents, and what do you think of this accent right here? Would it be possible if I went down to, say, Melbourne? Would I be able to fit in? Probably not, but I'm working on it. I've only been doing it for about 5 minutes now, and I think it's quite good. So that's my question number 2 is, what do you think of our accents? And when we do our accents, is it funny to you? Is it entertaining? Do you think we're a bunch of retards? I probably would think that. And I want to hear what an Australian person doing an American accent sounds like. And just an average bloke. I don't need to hear, Hugh Jackman, when he's in Real Steel, as opposed to when he was in the movie Australia. When he was in the movie Australia, he was the drover out there with the cattle and droving them into town. And then when he got to America to do Real Steel, which was a terrible movie compared to Australia, oh, shit. I put the cowboy hat on specifically because I personally think that Australians are just British Texans. So I love y'all down there in Australia. And I think that really, I think that we're kin, you and us here. But when I'm back down in my homeland, of course, I'm actually from the Northern Territory. That's part of the reason why I've got this hat on, is because we spend most of our days out in the bush up there. We see all sorts of wildlife, as well as arid landscape. And really, it's actually quite like the movie Australia, even though that took place a little bit further south than where I live. But really, it's an amazing bit of country up there. And God damn it, see, I slipped into British there, and there is a real difference. There is a real difference. So we've got questions 1 and 2 out of the way. Question 1. Does anybody say down under? I doubt it. Question 2 is, what do you think of Americans doing British accents, and how is that accent? Question 3, is Foster's actually Australian for beer? So I've heard a lot of different things about this, and I think that really quite what I'd have to say about it as a fellow Australian myself, an Aussie, which I doubt anybody actually calls themselves Aussies either. I think that that's another sort of touristic phrase, maybe you could say. But I've heard we don't like Fosters down in Australia, where I'm from. I heard that it's a bit of an insult, maybe. So cheers to that. It's quite a refreshing beverage, though, isn't it? Beer. I guess I've sort of lost my train of thought. We're just recording here for a bit, so I guess I'll just sort of talk, and we'll see if we get any good clips. But I feel like Foster's really, I know that down in Australia we have slightly larger hands than the rest of the population, but the size of this can is unnecessary. It's quite remarkable how ridiculously large this can is. But I want to know that. I want to know, is Foster's really Australian for beer? In fact, I'm going to look it up right now. Foster's beer is what I'm going to Google. Foster's beer comes up with the same can. Dude, the first question on Google is people also ask, is Foster's really Australian for beer? Let's click on it and see. Let's be clear. Foster's Lager, as we know it in Britain's pubs and supermarkets, is an Australian brand, and it is not an Australian beer. What? Hold on, I've got to go back to America for this one. Let's be clear. Foster's Lager, as well, or as we know it in Britain's pubs and supermarkets, is Australian beer or Australian brand. It is not an Australian beer. Australian for lager, it may claim to be, but 1.2 BN pints of the amber nectar a year are brewed. Oh shit. 1.2 billion pints of the amber nectar a year are brewed in Manchester, not Melbourne. Liars! Wow. That's quite interesting, actually. You know, I always knew that there was something about it that I didn't like. Yes, yeah, that was British again. I got to keep working on it. I've got to work on it harder, I think. Let's see. Foster's Lager is an international distributed brand of lager. It is owned by the International Brewing Group, Asahi Group Holdings. Is this the, I believe this is the same company that recently acquired New Belgium here in Fort Collins, Colorado. So I want to know, what do we think, my fellow countrymen down there in Australia, what do we think of the beer Foster's? Not bad, actually. Probably good value for money, that is, given the size of the can. So I think that we should continue moving on here to the fourth question that we have, which is, I need to know, because I've never traveled too much anywhere in the Australia area outside of my Northern Territory, where I'm from. My name is Bagger, by the way. Bagger, dude! What a freaking great Australian character, Bagger. Oh my god, that's fantastic. Bagger is who I am. And that's the name that my father gave me after I was born, his first son. Quite proud moment. But anyway, because I haven't traveled too much outside of the Northern Territory, I'm very curious to know is, you know, of course, Australia is about the size of the U.S. And just like in the U.S., where there's different accents, you go other places, and you've got, you know, a northwest or northeastern accent, like a New York or a New Jersey. You go down to the southern states, you know, the Carolinas, and they've got a bit of a southern accent down there. And just then across the rest of the country, there seems to be different accents. So is an accent from Melbourne or Sydney any different? Or maybe if you're from the western part of the country, whatever that's called, or maybe New South Wales. There's like 5 states or something like that. I don't know what we call them. I was homeschooled, never did geography, anything like that. We were out every day working on the farm Dad had built. And Mom, she was a bit of a drinker, to be honest with you. So didn't see much of her. Oh my God, dude, I'm cracking myself up. This is just too much fun. But mom, you know, she had her own issues that she actually went somewhere to work them out, and as far as I know, things are going good for her. But Dad doesn't like to talk about it too much. So just answer me those 4 questions if you wouldn't mind. My fellow countrymen, fellow folk from Australia. My name is Bagger once again, and my questions were: do we actually say the phrase "down under"? If you were to meet some girls from America, would you say that? I don't think you would. I certainly wouldn't. I might say I'm from the bush, but I would never say I'm from down under. The second question was, once again, what do we think of when people do our accent? Is it offensive to us, or do we find it funny, or that it's actually lame? And then the third question was, how's Foster's? Is it any good? Do you guys like it or not? And the fourth question was, are the different accents from the different territories in Australia? And what do you mean? Is sort of what I'm saying. Like, what do you actually mean, though? This is going to be a long video to edit. I can already tell. Oh, God, I'm at 17 minutes. I better wrap this up. Thank you all so much for watching Dansville and letting me take over today as guest host, Bagger. Dude, I can't fucking. Oh. Let's wrap this stupid fucking video up. God damn it. As always, everybody, thank you so much for watching Dansville. I'm Dan. I've been your host. And I just want to say shout out to all the Australian YouTubers that I follow. Whether it's Riley and Elena on Sailing the Vagabond, or Hayden Pedersen, whatever his fucking name is, and Mike and Liam. And those guys, I Did a Thing, all the other quality Australian content creators, shout out to you guys. Really appreciate you making what you make. It's fantastic to watch. And anyway, like I said, this is Dansville. I've been your host, Dan. We hope you enjoyed this video this evening. I was trying to be a little bit goofy, and if you liked it, give it a like. If you thought you want to come back and tune in later for more, hit that subscribe button. And we'll see you cheeky buggers on the next one. Thanks for watching, and good day.